Okay, welcome. What do you want to be called or referred to as?
Audrey.
Audrey. Okay, welcome, Audrey. This is another episode of Manhood Academy Interviews. We have Audrey with us. Audrey, do we have your consent to record the interview? We're not recording the video portion for all our interviews that we always do. We just record the audio portion. We distort the voices so you're free to speak your mind. We don't want anybody feeling like they got to worry about what they're saying. So we want you to fully give your complete and uncensored views for anything we ask during the interview.
Yep, absolutely.
Oh, sweet. Okay. How did you find our YouTube channel? Did you just stumble on it? Did you get linked by something, or you just...
You know those suggestion videos on the side?
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was
so you're looking
like
at baking.
Like the suggestion tumbling.
You're looking at like pottery, and it said, effects of emasculation.
Pottery.
Oh.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
No, actually, for one of my classes, they were talking about like feminist characters in video games.
Right.
And there's like a second part to it.
Oh, tropes.
To be...
Right?
What? The tropes?
Feminist tropes with what's
Yeah.
Who is that cunt? Anita.
Yeah, I can't remember her name right now.
Anita Sarkeesian. I believe that's her name.
That is who it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, she's on the. I heard she's on the speaking circuit right now, and she makes all kinds of videos exposing.
Yeah, she did like TED Talks for a while, I think, and I don't know if she's. I don't really agree with everything. So
there's a lot of people who don't agree with her, and especially the video gaming community or nerds or whatever you want to call it that she's criticizing. They are especially. I mean, there's all kinds of videos refuting a lot of her work.
Yeah, actually, that's how I got here, is watching the refuting videos.
The refuting videos. Which is interesting because in, academia and on college campuses or any classes you take on gender studies, it's usually just, they should just stop fucking pretending and stop calling it gender studies and just call it feminist studies or feminism.
Studies. It's not gender, it's women.
It's
only.
indoctrination to feminism. It's not women's studies, it's not men's studies, it's not gender, it's not investigation. It's just, here's the feminist point of view, take it or get out of class.
Right.
And that's, I wonder actually with like Anita Sarkeesian and her feminist trope, or her tropes, and I don't know what she calls it. She has a channel, Feminist Frequency, and she always criticizes how women are depicted in video games and taken advantage of, etc. And I'm always curious to know, I'm pretty sure they probably show one or two of her videos in classes, in gender studies class. Do they show any opposing videos, or do they allow criticism? Because she is one of the most notorious people who censors any kind of commentary, doesn't want to have any kind of debate or discussion.
Yeah,
it's
she
just,
disables all her comments and stuff. She won't let anyone, which is kind of annoying because it's just for someone watching, you kind of want to see what people who are saying about it.
Right.
So even if you agree with it, it's good to know what people are saying. I understand she wants to she got a lot of really intense almost abusive harassment.
It's such bullshit because nobody can refute it. I mean, she said, I got rapes and death threats and this and that, but there's no chance to refute it. It's just like if I said, I got death threats from feminists, and then no feminists were allowed to say, anything contrary to what I'm saying.
I think it was the pictures she got. She got some really nasty pictures, which, okay, honestly though, if you're going to talk about that kind of stuff, you have to be kind of aware that you're going to get stuff you just
once again, nobody's been allowed to refute anything that she says, so I wouldn't trust her farther than I could throw her. No,
I was just interested in seeing the second video because our teacher wasn't going to show it because she's it's too graphic, which it wasn't, but whatever. So
yeah, we our policy is we don't have debates and comments. Number one, we'll take a debate, not a debate, a comment or two, a criticism or two in our videos. But usually, if there's somebody who's seriously opposed to our work, they won't necessarily criticize the work as just leave a message of feminist propaganda, you hate women and your videos and they don't even comment on the video, they just leave a mission statement. We delete those, we ban those people, and they say, you're censoring our view. And we say, no, we're not censoring our view, because we won't debate you in the comment section. But we will debate you live like this. And we will post the results of the debate. So you can have your full say against us, you can have full criticism against us, you can exercise your powers of speech, and we will not censor you during the debate. You could refute any argument you want, as long as you want. And yet, feminists still cry censorship at the Academy. And Manhood Academy censors. We say, we don't censor you. We want you to come and criticize. We want you to debate us. That's the only way we have these types of conversations where we get to the truth. I mean, you can't get to the truth in a one-sided dialogue.
Right. And comment sections are not a great place to have.
You can't have a discussion. I hate assholes who say,
any moving conversation.
You're censoring my opinion because you won't approve my comment. I'm I want to refute your comment, but 700 characters isn't enough. I need to talk to you for like half an hour. I need to thoroughly examine your delusional views and refute them in full. I don't want to just have a little comment chat over and over because, it's, how the comment section is. It's just retards.
It's like a tweet war. Like there's no point.
The problem with comments and the problem with keyboard warriors is in a live debate like this or a live interview like this, I can speak to you and I can get you to respond to things in real time that you normally wouldn't in comments. For example, if there was something we disputed and then I rebutted that in a comment, you could just, what most keyboard warriors do is they just ignore it and they just go on talking about their point. Well, if you're in a debate, that's what they're afraid of, is that I'm going to confront them on that point and not let it go. Because I will say, what about this? Answer this. And you can't just ignore that during, in a live conversation like this. It becomes very apparent. But in a text, a message, or in comments, you can easily ignore it and not make it seem like you're trying to dodge the issue. When if I ask you a straight out question, hey, what is your view on this? And you just ignore it, I can call attention to it very easily. But that's what they're afraid of. That's why I don't want to have these debates. That's why, one of our very first debates with academic feminists, she just tucked tail and ran. She was like, agreed. And we were 10 minutes in just debating the rules. She said, you cannot call me this. You cannot do this, or I will leave, So we said, look, you're not going to censor our views. If we call you a bitch, if we call you a name and you're offended, why don't you just state your point? And then we said, we're even going to give her the last word. So she could just, sum up her argument. It'll be the last impression in the listener's mind. She was like, on board. And then the last second, no, I'm not doing it. I said, wait a second. Look, most of the criticisms we get from feminists are, we're just childish, we're name calling, we're not worth debating. And we say this all the time. Look, if we're so childish, you should have no problem defeating us in debate, refuting us. We'll just call you names like, you're a cunt, you're a bitch, and you'll say, look, all you're doing is calling me names, here's my rebuttal. And then once we post it, people will listen to it and go, she was right. Manhood Academy just called girls names, and they had solid rebuttal points. We would get destroyed. But nobody has taken us up on this offer because they know they're full of shit. They know we'll debate them into the ground. Now that I'm done patting the Academy on the back, now it's time to talk about you. We got your comment. I don't even remember what it was, but it was recent. I'm so pissed because sometimes we send out a lot of interview requests to different people who comment, and depending on who responds, it's not always certain that somebody's going to respond, even if they leave a great comment or even if they're initially interested. We have tons of people who are, yes, I want to do an interview, and then come interview time, they just flake. So every, now and then, like, you will get somebody who is interested, and then they come through. And I'm like, I wish there was some way to psychically know who, so I could psychically have that comment that they said or what video, we could at least have a springboard to talk about it.
Well, lucky for you, I actually remember.
Oh,
I think
good.
it was the Jenna Marbles video.
Oh, yeah,
it was about, girls who want to
have their cake and eat it too. They want to play both sides of the fence when they're dating.
Yeah, and they want guys to pay for it, and then they just ignore the fact that they should pay sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think she took it off her channel, someone said in the comments, which made me kind of, I don't know, concerned, I guess. I feel like that's not a very good thing to do, but... she removed the video from her channel. Yeah,
I heard she removed that recently. And do you know why she removed it? Or could you want to speculate about why she removed it? Because it was a very controversial video.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I think she's just changed a lot in general. I kind of used to like some of her videos. I thought they were kind of funny. I wasn't like by any means a crazed, diehard Jenna Marbles fan or anything like that. I just occasionally watch them, but then they just started getting really weird. And
what do you mean really weird?
She just got really over the top and just
cornball.
Over the top with what she had been doing before, and they were just kind of over the top silly. I don't know.
Oh, she just did more silly videos, kind of like sketch videos or something.
Yeah, kind of. But she was just trying to be so absurd that it got to be just too weird. I guess not for me. I guess. But.
Yeah, I think I've seen one or two of her videos. They're just kind of silly, nonsensical videos. I wouldn't think twice about it. This seemed like either a viewer or somebody had written something that prompted a discussion about relationships and equality and feminism. It seems like it was just off the cuff or something that just kind of nagged at her, not necessarily something she devised on her own.
Yeah, I definitely think, it was one of her earlier videos, I think, and I think a lot of those were kind of off the cuff anyways. I think she has since, tried to make them more, entertainment geared, and before I think they were just more, more
just
for
a
her.
blog,
So
blog
they're more
diary.
genuine and kind of more funny, I guess, in that way.
Okay, so she removed that. She removed the controversial one, obviously. Maybe she was losing viewership, and she's now,
I don't know why.
she wanted to monetize her channel like a lot of YouTubers. And so she removed this which was a great video because it stirred up so much controversy and commentary. I mean, some of
it was a really good video, and it had a really good point too. Like, I know so many girls like that, and I just wanted to like
refresh our mind. Just give me the gist of the video. Refresh our minds about some of the themes she talked about, some of the big things she talked about girls and dating.
She was saying mostly that girls will go on a date and they'll expect the guy to pay for every date, and then they'll expect him to buy her presents just randomly for no reason.
Right.
She's like, no, there's like 3 major holidays. There's like 2 that you should get presents on: birthday and Christmas, and Valentine's Day maybe. That's just to be nice. And she was talking about how, like, people actually work hard for their money, and then spending it on someone is actually, like, really a really nice gesture. And it's not just, like, something that you should expect. Like, it's nice, but you don't need to expect that from everyone. And you should pitch in sometimes, too, especially if you want to have equal rights. Like, if you're going to expect everything else to be equal, then paying should be equal, like, every other time, or, like...
That's one of the big things that we've come across. There's a lot of issues with feminism and how it affects relationships. We talk about it all the time at our Academy, because guys are, interested in dating women. They're interested in forming relationships with guys, and any type of relationship you can talk about, feminism has affected it in some way. So one of the main things we see with dating is just what Jenna talked about, is that women feel entitled to things because there's still that notion that women, well, not the notion, but, from historically speaking, men took care of women. Women couldn't work, women couldn't own property, women couldn't do certain things, but men were able to do those things. Therefore, since they had the authority to do those things, they had the rights to do those things, they also carried the responsibility on their shoulders. So if men brought home the bacon, meaning men were in the majority of the workforce, women worked at home and whatnot and cooked, but they couldn't go to like a managerial position or, just go out and get a job like a guy could. And because men could do that, women, feminists, and women too, because they've been influenced by feminists, they view that as a privilege, whereas men saw that as a responsibility. They had to go out, they had to bust their ass, they work in all the dangerous and demanding jobs, they brought home all the money, and with that money, they had the obligation to pay for dates, to pay for any gifts that were bought, to pay for any vacations, to pay for dinner, etc.
Right.
So they had that financial obligation, and they shouldered it because that was the way society was run. If you had the authority, you also bear the responsibility. But now, along comes feminism and the claims that, hey, women are being oppressed, women can't do this, women can't do that. But unlike men, women are now entering into the workforce, and now they have authority to do things. They have, more money to spend and whatnot, but yet they still feel entitled to that same old position, that same old treatment of gimme, 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 as if they're no longer in the workforce and only men are working and therefore men have to pay for them. I can't tell you how many times I've tried to explain this to a girl that I've been dating, and she was just either retarded, couldn't get it, or just felt like it was absurd to even suggest that she should pay. I said, in a girl's mind, it's like I say, okay, we'll go out, check comes, hey, you're gonna pay. It's not even just, she's not even gonna say that. The check, she's just gonna slide it to me, or the waiter will even give it to the guy most of the time, right? So then you go, okay, it's $10, your half is $10, give me $10. She says, what? Give me $10. Well, no, you're the guy you're supposed to be paying. And then we go through the whole thing. Well, do you have a job? Yes. Do you like voting? Yes. Well, do you want to be considered an adult? Yes, obviously. Do you want to be, do you think you're equal to a man? Yes, of course. Well, then you get to pay. No! You're the guy you're supposed to pay. Like, it doesn't even compute that with authority comes responsibility. This whole concept is lost on feminists. It's completely lost.
Right. And, I've gone on dates before where I'll be like, I'll pay for half of it, and they're like, okay, that's fine. And most of the time they don't really seem surprised or anything. Like, when guys will offer to pay for all of it, that's kind of when, I'm impressed because, I don't ever expect that.
You shouldn't be impressed. You should pity them because they're so dumb as to keep doing this, keep buying into the bullshit that feminism sells them. Because in their minds, they're still thinking, oh, women are poor, helpless creatures that can't do anything. Well, if they're so poor and helpless, we should be obligated to pay for them. Well, but women are sending the message that we're not helpless. We're equal to men. So if you're equal, it should be incumbent upon you. It should be an obligation that it should be legally a law. There should be a law passed that says you have to pay as a woman.
A law might be a little extreme to govern dating.
Look, we're living in an extreme bullshit feminist situation that says, hey, guys, women should get their cake and eat it too. That's what feminism tells us.
But
in society and legally.
Right. But if I'm on a date, I I mean, when I say I offer, like, it's more of like, I try it, like, several times, say, no, I'll pay for half of it. If they still insist, like, after the third time.
Yeah, but a lot of guys,
usually
you know what? Sometimes there's the token reach. I've had girls do the stupid thing where they're, like, fumbling with their purse as if they are actually going to pay when their hand doesn't even unzip the purse or open the clasp. It's just a curse. Oh, I'm actually going for the money. No, bitch, we know you're not going for the fucking money.
Well, the other thing is, if they do insist on paying for it, later on, like, if we, like, the last date I went on, we ate dinner, and then we went to a movie, and I was like, no, I get the ticket. So, like, if they don't let me pay for dinner, at least I want to pay for
a lot of times you're going to encounter guys that are, there's two issues here. You either have the guy who's pussy whipped, or he grew up as a white knight or a mangina. He's just cowering and catering and deferring to a woman. So he's always going to treat you as this untouchable angel. He always has to do things for you. There's that guy. And then there's the guy who would like to have you foot the bill because either he's not making that much or he believes, hey, equality, I'm all for it. And if you're going to help contribute, that helps me out. That's a win-win. But society's going to tell him he's a dick. His friends are going to tell him, his emasculated friends are going to tell him he's a dick. Women are going to tell him he's a dick. Advice columns, television shows, TV commercials are going to imply guys that don't pay for dates are dicks. So it's not necessarily that they won't take it from you if you're offering in good faith, but it's that there's so many other counter messages saying if you don't pay, if you don't insist, you're a dick.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's not just, hey, the guy is just one of these guys that's super insistent. He's super insistent, plus he's got the weight of society on his shoulders telling him if he doesn't do it, even if you offer, he should damn well better turn you down. Even if you offer 10 times or you won't leave the restaurant unless you pay, he should just consider that null and void and pay for it regardless, because that's what a good guy does. And that message is drilled into their heads. I mean, we post advice columns. We post, there's the matchmaker, Patty Stranger, who women follow like Oprah. She gives out advice like, well, guys should always pay for the date. You can't afford it. You don't have a job. Get another job. Boo hoo hoo. It's just the total entitlement mentality. And
I'm not down with that for more than just the entitlement, but I don't know.
Well, look, as they always tell us, as the feminists always love to tell us, look, you're a rape apologist if you don't stand up and oppose rape culture. If you're not out there actively saying something, let's say you're not a rapist, right? Let's say I just haven't raped somebody. And then if they say, hey, if you don't go out to this rally or you don't protest rape culture, if you don't tell guys that you are against rape, then you're a rapist by default, just by by inactivity.
Yeah, that's a little extreme.
Well, that's the message we get from feminists all the time. If we're not on board 100%, we're who the fuck is calling me in the middle of the interview? Oh, damn it.
No worries.
So annoying. Okay, sorry about that.
No worries.
Okay, so where was I? So I forgot what I was saying.
Feminist and crazy anti-rape messages.
Oh yeah, so there's these feminists who will try to guilt you or shame you that if you aren't doing anything actively, if you aren't protesting actively, then you are automatically a rapist or a rape apologist. But by the same token, you don't see the same type of you don't see the same type of burden put on women. For example, I'm sure you might, and also other women like you might feel that it's unfair to burden men with paying for all the dating expenses or any of the expenses in a relationship. But you aren't actively shamed if you just kind of go along or don't say anything, right? I mean, there are advice columns that you could find right now if you just go to popular women's magazines or, even on TV, you go to talk shows, you'll hear women giving the same advice out. And if you don't necessarily write letters to the station and say, hey, this bitch is telling women that she should be entitled to a man's money, or you write an email to the advice columnist and say, hey, that's not fair for you to call guys dicks if they don't pay for the dinner. You don't do that, and a lot of women don't do that. They just kind of disagree maybe themselves intellectually, but they'll still take advantage of the treatment they're going to get from guys on a date. But they're not actively protesting. Oh, well, we don't say, well, you guys are,
The logic is seriously flawed. Like it doesn't, you can't, that's not, there's no logic strategy that would ever say that statement of, if you don't go to an anti-rape rally, you're for rape.
So according to feminist logic, I should just label you a man-hating feminist cunt because you haven't been out protesting these advice columns and Patty Stranger.
Those people haven't taken either anything with higher education or
I would say that's exactly the problem.
Or have common sense whatsoever.
No, I would say that's exactly the problem, that they have taken higher, quote, quote, higher education. This is where they get most of this stuff. It's from gender studies courses they get in college. This is exactly where they pick it up.
Philosophy and stuff, like, I've taken, like, philosophy classes and logic classes, and, like, you can't say things, like, if you take
there's a difference between taking a philosophy class or a logic class and then taking a gender studies class. It's like the antithesis of any logical thinking.
I mean, like, I don't know. I've taken those. If I took a gender studies class, which I haven't, I'm pretty sure I could not be swayed towards that type of thinking. Just if you think about it logically, like, you can't say things like that.
Yeah, but you could say a lot of things logically, but we don't work logically. We work according to peer pressure. We work according to emotions. I mean, there's so many other factors than just logic. If it was just straight logic, the feminism would have zero ground to exist. I mean, if women really care about equal rights, they wouldn't even dare to call themselves feminists in the first place. They call themselves egalitarians. Feminist has female in the title. How can I think equality when I think female immediately?
Right.
There's no way. So even logically, the label doesn't even make sense. So there's no logic to feminism. That's why there's so few live debates. I mean, our channel, our YouTube channel, our academy is one of the very few bastions of higher education, of intellectual discourse, because we are willing to take on these insane cunts and debate them. We are willing to debate their delusional views and post them publicly so that the public at large can scrutinize them and decide for themselves, versus they just hear message points and talking points from CNN, Cat Herder News Network, and Oprah. In no popular media growing up have I ever heard the man's point of view. And then when I see a man on TV or in the media, a news anchor, a newscaster, etc., that guy is a pussy. There's no way that guy ever speaks for real men. I have not seen one newscaster that speaks for real men out there. And if he is, he's like an underground guy that he's not gonna be like on the mainstream media, like a Tom Likas or even Mark Rudolph. I mean, they're not these guys that you just are in your face every day on the news, Oprah, in movies, etc. You always get the female feminist point of view from Hollywood, and especially all of our entertainment shoved down our throat. Actors, politicians, it's always the female point of view. I mean, we got Obama, we got Biden. These guys are hardcore manginas. So you found this video, you commented on it. What was your comment, by the way?
Oh God, I cannot remember that.
What did you think of the video when you saw it?
I think I said, like, I miss the old Jenna, because
I miss the old Jenna.
Yeah, I was like, wow, this takes me back to a day when it wasn't all about making dumb, silly videos that only 12-year-old girls really like. I don't know. I was just like, what the fuck? She's like, has a master's degree. Like, what is she doing?
So you seem to have some grasp of feminism. How do you view relationship? What's your view on relationships? What's your take on relationships today?
That's sort of a broad question. Like, what exactly?
Okay, how did you, like, if you were a girl growing up in the United States, I'm assuming you're from the United States, you would have had the typical feminist education, which says, girl power, you're strong and independent, you do whatever you want, you can be a doctor, astronaut, etc. But yet, there's also the other side of that, where a guy should treat you like a lady. So you're always sent these conflicting messages about dating and relationships nonstop as a girl. But I would say you're fed the have your cake and eat it too message. For example, you could be a fireman, a doctor, a lawyer, a blogger, whatever you want. But also, the man should take care of you. A gentleman should do this, a gentleman should do that, etc. So you're fed cake on both sides.
Well, I actually have sort of a unique situation, because I grew up in a pretty, not like fundamental, but my parents want to be missionaries. So I grew
like a
up
Mormon.
Semi-homeschooled. I went to like Christian schools and stuff. So
are you a Mormon or just an evangelical missionary?
Just independent Baptist type Christian.
Okay. So you don't have your parents didn't have like 20 kids.
No, just me and my sister. No, they're pretty conservative for like the groups they were in. But I was sort of taught like the traditional women values and like Christianity, like
Wait
men
a second.
over women. And
Wait a second. Were your parents like super strict religious?
My dad was a pastor at one point.
Oh, you're the pastor's daughter. So you had like anal sex at 16 or something like that, right? You just fully rebelled. It's usually those religious chicks who have like the most like sexually twisted, depraved, or
No.
high libido.
No, I've experimented with weird relationships like dom sub stuff, but other than that, that's about the extent of it.
I like how you say, other than just being a dominatrix and submitting to people and
like,
dominating them.
Anyways.
Other than water sports and things like that.
Anyways,
did you get spanked or did you do the spanking?
What? No, I did not do the spanking. So.
Oh, you got spanked over the knee?
Yes.
Show me. Like you were up on with your skirt, and then I was just like, Spanky, you're a bad girl. You're a bad girl.
All right, we're not gonna do this.
No, I'm getting turned on right now. I think the audience is getting turned on. So you're getting that spanking. Your ass is getting red, right?
Yeah. Probably.
And then are you saying, no, daddy, please don't? Or are you just saying, I'll be a good girl? What's the script?
There's no script.
There's no script?
But that is a conversation for a different video.
No, this is for this video. This is definitely going in this video. What was your secret word or safe word? Was it like chocolate or something? Cacao?
There was no safe word.
There was no safe. Of course. What was I thinking? Of course, there's no safe word.
No, but like when your dad's a pastor, it sort of sets you up for failure. Like the kind of like not really failure, but according to them, it's failure. Anyway, so
as a side note, you'll be interested to know we had an entire debate with a guy about safe words, just on safe words. You got to listen to that.
Oh, good.
Okay, so your dad's a pastor.
Yeah, but my mom actually has more education than my dad. But so like they were both educated and stuff, and my mom did tell me I could do whatever I wanted, all that, which I think is like, I mean,
honey, if you want to be a fireman, you go ahead and do that.
I am actually in the army, so
what the fuck? Oh, they did fuck you over. They fucked the entire country over.
You know, they probably will.
Look, I just saw this clip of this chick who's a firefighter. And there's this game show, and she's got to ram through a door to get to a burning family. And she gets 5 tries. She can't fucking open the door. And then this, obviously, a male firefighter comes along and just bangs it open on the first try. And I'm thinking, okay, great, good for her, girl power. You go, girl. You're a firefighter. You conquer the world. What about the fucking family burning on the other side of the door because you're a liberated woman? Fuck.
That's the thing about jobs like that, though. Like, if you're going to want to do something that is like physically equal, you need to be like people,
yeah, but women aren't physically equal. There's no way you could be equal other than being like a Russian cyborg woman.
That's the thing. There's like a big debate in the army right now about if women can do like special forces. And what I think about that is if they can pass the tests that guys do right now, which is pretty intense, then if they can pass those tests, if they can perform at the same level as
can't.
Some of the guys in the army are pretty scrawny, let me tell you. And
think about it. Think about the guys who. I mean, just on average, it's such a joke to even have this debate. I mean, every time there's like a championship woman in some sport, there's always like some high school guy that comes along and beats her handily from a lower level athletic program.
One of our first sergeants is a woman bodybuilder, and I'm not kidding you. She is bigger than some of the guys I've seen.
Oh, please. We have a video from the world's strongest woman, Jill Mills, going against 3 average guys, and they beat her. She's the strongest one. She's all yoked. She's weight training, showing her in the gym. And the last guy, she grabs his hand with both arms to beat him. Obviously cheating because this guy's beating her. He's just an average guy. It's not even like Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's just an average guy that doesn't work out. Beats the world's strongest woman. Are you kidding me? It's not even a contest.
Well, I'm just saying, if they can pass the test.
If they can pass this. I like how this information goes in one ear and out the other. If they can pass the test.
But there are some women who can. There are.
Oh, where are they? I'd like to see them. They're like 1 out of a billion.
If they ever have women doing selection, we'll see them.
You gotta be shitting me. Come on, there's so many guys ahead of them that are way more qualified to do that job. I mean, look, not only...
if they can pass all the tests and stuff, but that doesn't mean that they'll just get picked for the team.
Yeah, but they already have to lower the standards in the Army and in the police department, the fire department, just to let women in. They lower the physical standards to let you in. So how can you say there's women that are meeting the standard?
That's true. However, some of the jobs you don't need as much of the physical standards anyway. So.
Yeah, we need secretaries. We need cooks. We need chicks that can suck cock. We need chicks that can take care of babies. I mean, we got a lot of stuff domestically that needs to get taken care of. Why can't they do that? Why do they have to be all you could be in the Army? I mean, it's bad enough a guy's in a life or death situation. Now he's got a pair of tits sitting next to him. And look, if I saw you in a foxhole and I knew tomorrow it might be my last day, I'd be like, let's bang now. I mean, is it any wonder how many women get pregnant in the Army?
Yeah, that might be. Yeah, actually, I don't know how many women get pregnant.
I'd be trying to get you pregnant every day.
And I would resist.
No, you would. I'd be stronger than you. Remember? Physical prowess.
Oh, so now it's a rape thing?
Yeah, now it's a rape. Hey, we're in combat. Nobody knows.
There's a lot of rape stuff in the Army, that's true. We have, like, briefings about it all the time. It's kind of
Oh,
fun.
don't talk to me about feminist rape statistics. I can't take it anymore. 1 out of 5. There's such bullshit. The way they get the statistics, how they record them, they're disproven over and over again, and yet people still parrot those same bullshit statistics.
That's true. I am a rape victim, but yeah, I'm actually.
Don't bring it up, because the last girl that brought it up, we started on a good foot, and then you probably haven't listened to our rape debate yet.
I think I clicked on the interview, but I was like, it's too long. I'm tired. I'm going to bed.
Yeah, you might want to listen to that one, because it started jolly just like this one. Then we got into accountability, where she said, I got raped and this and that, and she volunteered and got into a relationship with this guy. And so I was harping on what I always harp on, which is accountability. For example, if a man gets robbed because he left his car door open, the police aren't going to go, well, fuck the robber, we're going to go get him right now. Most of the time they're going to go, hey, dummy, did you leave the car door unlocked? Did you leave it in a bad neighborhood? Well, maybe you should be more responsible as a guy. Right. Versus a girl, will they tell her, hey, you dressed like a slut? You were trying to get attention and you got it? You drank too much and you're irresponsible at a bar where there's a lot of guys looking to fuck? And you got raped, or so-called raped happened to you, so-called sexual assault, and you don't feel accountable for this? That would never happen, right? It would always be, who's the guy who did it? It's victim blaming. If we ever try to blame you for drinking too much or dressing like a slut or being flirty or doing anything, it was never your fault. It's 100% the rapist's fault. This is complete and utter bullshit and sends the wrong message to women and men. It tells men that we're professional perpetrators and women are professional victims. Again, the feminists send this message. So they say women are victims. They're total helpless little babies, and they can't be held accountable for any of their behavior. But on the other hand, women are strong and powerful and equal just like men. How can feminists send these dueling messages? It boggles the mind.
Right. Well, the thing about, alcohol-related rapes, I mean, if you're consuming alcohol and,
here's the thing. Look, let me let you make your point, but let me just make my point real quick.
Go ahead.
There's two kinds of rapes to me. There's the I'm a dope and put myself in a bad situation rape, like alcohol type rape. And then there's the I was walking along to school and somebody drove by in a van and just scooped me up and raped me. Like that, to me, is legitimate rape, because you were doing, you were just minding your own business, not doing anything to provoke a rape, and it just happened to you. Versus you're in a shady situation and you're doing things that are contributing to your own bad situation occurring. Okay, go ahead.
No, that's okay. That's pretty much what I was going to say. Like, when I go to the University of Iowa, I live in Iowa now, which is a horrible state. Don't move there.
Don't move there? Okay.
But,
note to Californians, don't move to Iowa. Got it.
Anyways, at my school, they're constantly going on about how if you don't have a specific yes, then it is a rape. Which,
I guess you haven't heard our no means no debate either.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're going to say that, then,
they need a safe word. You need a safe word when you're on campus, right?
What?
No doesn't mean no with a woman. You need a safe word. Yes doesn't mean yes. No doesn't mean no.
Yeah, something like that. It's just you can't be are we going to, it's not like a contract. It's.
Yeah, but that's how feminists see it. They see it as, okay, we're holding hands now. Do I have permission to hold your hand? Do I have full consent? And you're supposed to tell me, yes, that you have full and unadulterated consent. And then the next step is, okay, I want to put my hand down your panties and finger your clit. Is that okay? Do I have consent to do that? Who would do that? You need a team of lawyers to fucking have a relationship under feminism.
Yeah. No, I don't see that. My situation, however, was I actually it was like a friend, and I told them, no, I don't want to have sex multiple times, and they still forcibly.
So you were friends? Oh, tell me. Yeah, no, this isn't the whole situation. Tell me the whole situation. Let's get to the bottom. Let's get to the truth.
I was a friend.
We were drinking.
What?
We were drinking.
No.
We weren't drinking.
We were totally sober.
We were totally sober.
Yes, we were.
We were best friends. Did we make out before?
We had dated before.
Oh, we had dated. We had fucked before, right?
Not fucked, but we kissed and stuff.
We kissed and stuff. Okay.
He was in my
little light petting, little tweaking of the nipples. No spanking. Spanking or no spanking.
But anyways, we were my town that I went to high school in is a really small town.
Okay.
And there's nothing to do for people except to drive around a lot.
Right.
We were just driving around talking. I think I was on break from school or something.
Right.
And we were just driving around, and he wanted to park somewhere, and I was like, no, I think you should take me home. And he's like, no, let's park. And
let's park because I'm hanging out with you because I like your homework skills.
Yeah, I was like, this is not looking good. I really want to go home. Like, I don't want to have sex. I literally said that to him. And then,
I don't want to have sex, implying, why are we hanging out in the first place?
Well, I thought we were just friends.
Oh, we're just buddies. Right, apparently. Apparently guys like girls. I don't think girls have figured this out yet. That guys hang around girls to get sex, to get into relationships with them, etc.
But is that it? Like, I mean, really? Like, that's it?
Well, why would a guy hang out with a girl?
Can't be friends.
Be friends? You have a pussy. This is such a crime that feminists don't teach women anything about the male libido. Anything.
Oh, no, I have lots of guy friends. I know the male libido.
Oh, so you already knew this going into it. Well, then case closed. That's your fault. You should have known.
I don't know about that, but...
I would have said, I would have said this.
I don't want to have sex.
I would have said this, live and learn. Don't put meat near a hungry lion. Don't entice somebody if you don't want the attention. Don't go someplace with a guy that's not in public.
Just pulled a gun on him. And...
You shouldn't have gone out with him in the first place if you didn't want to have sex with him. You shouldn't have been hanging around with a guy. Look, if you want a friend, go find a girl. Why not hang out with a girl?
They're obnoxious. There's a reason girls don't like hanging out with girls.
See, there's a psychological issue. When girls have like 1,000 guy friends and no girlfriends, there's a problem with the girl.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. Girls usually have girlfriends. So there's some issue if a girl is only so-called friends with a guy with guys, because in reality, she's also bullshitting herself, because she knows that it's not strictly friendship. She's using them. She's exploiting them, because you know that those guys will give you gifts, will give you rides, will tell you you're beautiful, will tell you the sexiest girl around, will tell you you're awesome, etc. And
it doesn't happen.
Oh, it doesn't happen. Don't lie to me. Come on. I know too many girls. You can't lie to me that way. You're telling me that none of those guys want to fuck you that are your friends?
Not that they told me.
Oh, not that they told you. You just don't. You're just completely clueless as to how they feel. Nobody's ever gotten a boner around you or anything, right? You're completely oblivious to the world.
You know, if they have, they've hit it really well.
They've hit it really well. This is a problem. Girls' education, sexual education, it's so poor. Girls have no idea what guys are thinking when they're sitting right next to them. I mean, I'm looking at you, I'm going, what would it be like with you sucking my cock right now? Like, I had that thought, what would it be like getting behind you, grabbing your hips and giving it to you doggy style?
Have you seen Blowjob Girl?
What's that? Blowjob?
Have you seen the video of Blowjob Girl?
No, I haven't seen that yet. I'll get right on that. But this is my initial thought just looking at you. I'm saying, you're kind of a cute girl, got nice dimples, etc. I wouldn't mind making out with you, right? So, immediately, like, just right off the bat, just looking at you as a guy, I'm sizing you up sexually. Like, what type of possibility is there for sex with you? That's what I'm looking at, just initially right off the bat. No, girls don't do that. No.
Did I do that? Are you kidding me?
No. That's not how female libido would. If that was true, more guys would be posting bicep pictures on Facebook. Come on. Girls cringe. You know how many girls say, oh my God, that's so tacky if you're doing it. Oh my God, this and that. Yes, girls can appreciate a guy's physique, but that's not how female libido works. Female libido is tied to emotions, is tied to emotional attraction. So, for example, you could have a fat guy that you're turned on by, or even a skinny guy you're turned on by if you're emotionally attracted to him. If there's an emotional connection. So, for example, you met a guy at work, and you're not attracted to him physically when you first see him. He's just not your body type, or he's just out of shape or whatever. And then, after 6 months, he's just like large and in charge, and you are emotionally into him. Guess what? Now you're attracted to him sexually.
Yeah, that actually is true, I think.
Yeah, I know it's true because I date women.
But you don't read their minds.
Yeah, you know what? I've dated enough women where I could read their mind.
Yeah?
Yes.
What am I thinking right now?
You're thinking, I wonder what his cock tastes like in my mouth.
No, I'm actually really wanting some dessert, but...
See, that's what I thought. That's exactly what I was thinking. You wanted my dessert. I know what dessert is code word for. That's your safe word, dessert. No, listen. I'm fucking around, but I've dated enough women where to them it seems like I'm reading their mind because I know how they think from dating women. This is why I was able to write an ebook about relationships between men and women, what causes attraction in a woman. I mean, if I was just a typical clueless guy, I would just say, oh yeah, I wouldn't be able to tell when you're bullshitting me or not. For example, when you talk about physicality, like, oh, you don't know how many women have told me, oh yeah, we're just like guys, we just look at guys' asses too, and we get turned on. No, that's bullshit.
I think that's all the time. I think it can happen. I'm not saying
Look,
that's even the majority.
A broken clock is right twice a day. That's not the point. There's exceptions to the rule, but by and large, yes, women can appreciate physicality, but that is not the mechanism that turns them on. Otherwise, they would just find a hot guy and go fuck him.
Right.
That doesn't happen, right? You don't know, which means you need to go see a video titled, what's the video title? It's where a girl asks a bunch of guys. It's supposed to be asking 100 guys for sex, and the guy is supposed to ask 100 girls for sex. Well, guess who asked all the participants?
Who?
Guess.
The guy?
Yeah, duh. Because every one of them says no, all 100. Well, I wonder why. We actually needed a field study to figure this out. How many did the girl need to ask to figure out this was a bad idea? All 100? No, just about 7 or 8. And then it stopped there. Video over.
Yeah. I can see that.
I can see that too. So when you bullshit me that way, I think, come on. I know more than you. I date women. I know how they think.
No, I'm not bullshitting. I'm just saying.
You are bullshitting me. You're telling me how women are just as visual as guys? That would mean the whole porn industry would be geared towards men and women equally.
I'm not saying that at all. In fact, that is, like, guys are way more visual. That's why guys watch porn more often.
Exactly.
And,
so then I'm telling you, this is how guys view you, especially when they're with you.
Like, girls don't work visually.
Now you're agreeing with me? This is what I'm telling you.
But I am saying they can, though.
They can, but that's not how their libido is designed. It's not designed for visuals. You're not designed to look at a guy and go, oh, what a hot guy, I want to go fuck him right now. That's not how you're designed. Whereas a guy can do that. A guy can go, look, you could be overweight, and I could go, well, I'm horny, I'll fuck you right now. And I don't even have to know your name. I don't have to talk to you.
But you would be, if you saw a girl who was totally unattractive,
look, if I was horny and I hadn't fucked a girl in, I don't know, 6 months, and she wasn't like disgusting, like oozing open sores or something, but she was just like an overweight girl. I could fuck her. Many guys could fuck her.
What is that movie with Dane Cook where he has sex with all these women and they fall in love? He has sex with some terribly overweight, really, really nasty.
Right, but that's the thing. That's a picture of male libido. So
could you do that though? Come on.
Yeah. The fact that you're even asking me that question shows you have no clue how a male's libido works. It's very visual. It's very visceral. I mean, guys wouldn't even chase you.
Really unattractive, something that's visually really unappealing.
Yeah, but you don't understand. You're looking at it from the female sex drive, which is emotional. We're physical. We're we have this urge. It's like hungry. It's like saying this. This is how much sense you make. It's like saying this. You haven't eaten a meal in a week, right? And you've been in the desert the whole time. And I pick my nose and wipe it on a cracker, and I throw it on the ground, and I see you crawling towards it to eat it, and I go, oh, are you really going to eat that cracker? That's gross. I just wiped my nose on it. Of course you're going to eat that cracker, because there's a biological hunger urge driving you to eat it. That is the male sex drive. Another guy has described it as having to pee. Everybody wants to pee in their nice bathroom, right? You go home, you want to pee where it's cozy. You don't want to pee in a gas station. But if you've been holding it for 7 hours or 8 hours, you don't pee in a bush, right?
Right.
That's the male sex drive.
Right.
So it's not about, oh, she's fat, or oh, she's got some bad personality traits. It's how long have I not had sex? That's how much I need to, proportional to how ugly she is, how fat she is, to how much I want to fuck her, if you want to make a math equation out of it.
Yeah. I mean, okay, yes, that's true.
So now think of the guy friends you have and consider you are a girl they haven't fucked and they would like to fuck. There you go.
I don't know. I don't think that's...
Right. You know why? You know why you don't think that? Because it destroys your friendships and your sources of validation. Your pats on the back.
I have guy friends who wouldn't have sex with me.
Oh, you have guy friends that wouldn't have sex with you? So you're trying to dare me? Okay, how about we could do this? We can make a bet.
Oh, God.
We'll find out who do you think isn't going to have sex with you? Let's call him up. Let's offer him sex. And then let's see what happens.
Some people I wouldn't talk about this to.
Who would you? Who would you say is definitely not going to say yes?
Oh, man. I have to go to my phone or something.
Nobody right off the top?
Yeah.
The truth is starting to come out.
Well, I mean...
How would you feel if you were proven wrong?
Well, okay, if you're going to say, if you're just going to offer sex, yeah, I mean, but they're not going to,
Would you offer sex to your girlfriends and would they take it? Could I offer sex to my guy friends and they would take it?
Yeah. Fairly enough. Yeah, some of them would.
No.
Yeah, I have lesbian girlfriends.
Oh, please. Guys that I know, if I offer them sex, are not going to take it because our friendship is not based on sexuality. there's no sexual tension between us. That's why I don't have to worry about that. Whereas with your male friends, so-called male friends, there is that tension there. That's the whole reason they're talking to you. I mean, consider if you were a disgusting fat hot. You must be so narcissistic as to think that your personality is so amazing. You just happen to attract that many guy friends because your personality is so amazing. Why don't fat chicks with a better personality than you don't have a bevy of guy friends? You ever consider that?
I don't know. I don't think I have that many, like...
No, but forget about you. Forget about you for a second if that's possible. Listen, what about a fat chick? What about an ugly chick? Why don't they have as many friends if they have a great personality? They're well-read, educated, successful. Why wouldn't they have as many guy friends as you?
I think they could. I don't think...
You think they could?
I don't think a majority of them.
You really think they could?
Yeah.
Oh, you're smoking something.
But that's the thing, though. Like, so I have lesbian friends, and they don't, like, initiate sex or, like, expect
Yeah, but
sex.
you know they're lesbians. That's different. That'd be like if I had gay friends. Obviously, I would know if they said they were gay.
But if they're still attracted to me, then how are they still my friends? It's like the same thing.
Well,
that you're saying
because it's saying, if it's like some of your guy friends, if they're so delusional, they'll still be your buddy, even if you say, well, we won't have sex, but they have the hope of sex, or they're already emotionally attached to you enough that they're hoping a relationship occurs later on down the road by some, mystical chance. But if they knew, like, they were just wasting their time, there's absolutely no way, and you found them disgusting, you just told them, look, I like you as a friend, but I find you physically disgusting. I would never have sex with you. If those guys knew that your friends list of guys would just disappear. It would just disappear.
Well, I do have one friend like that, though. Like, I mean, yeah, it's like one person, but
like one.
I have told him, like...
like one.
Yeah, one, I know. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, one. Yeah, I bet it's just one. The other ones aren't pining.
No, I have. I told him no, and
you think any of those guy friends have secret crushes on you?
They might. I don't know.
They might. Yeah, you wouldn't know.
No, if
you're oblivious. I don't know.
If they just told me, like, that'd be fine.
That'd be fine with you. You just say, no, we just need to be friends. I'm sorry I don't see you that way. So meanwhile, you get a person who's devoted and in love with you and will do favors for you and will validate you, but you're just not into them.
Not all of those things.
Seem ethical to you? What if I knew a girl, like I had like 3 or 4 girls who are just like totally in love with me, and I just wasn't into them, but I'll take the free car rides, I'll take the free dinners, I'll take them telling me I'm so awesome and always wanted to hang out with me, always wanted to cheer me up.
Free things are coming from. I pay for all my shit.
You pay for everything. I think that's bullshit too. I'd like to get the receipts for the next year of your life. No, I'd like to get the receipts for the next year of your life to prove you wrong.
No,
I know that I know the receipts are off. I know the gas mileage is off. I know the favors are off. I know the drinks bought are off. I know the nights paid for are off. I know the sharing's off.
When I go to bars, people will offer to give me drinks, and I say no.
I wonder why. They probably just look at you. You know why they offer you drinks? Because they look at you and they go, "This girl has the most amazing personality ever. I'm going to get her a free drink because her personality just is probably spectacular." Meanwhile, that ugly fat chick over there, she probably has a terrible personality. I'm not going to get her a drink. Living in denial. I'm
rolling my eyes to that.
Such a beautiful world for a girl.
I really don't accept it.
Such a beautiful existence for a girl to go through the world in full denial of reality. But that's the luxury of being a girl. You don't have to be accountable. You don't have to be responsible. Because there will be so many special interest groups, especially feminism, the largest female special interest group, which is there to fight for you even if you don't want to fight for yourself. What a luxury that is as a woman.
Yeah. I mean, like...
You could have a dot of glitter covering your vagina and go out just with that dot of glitter on as your outfit. You could drink 12 bottles of Jaeger. You could fall down and rest in the lap of a guy with a hard cock. And then in the morning, you could say, oh, I was raped. And 12,000 special interest groups, feminists, counselors, domestic assault violence specialists would all run to your aid. And not even question your behavior in the least, just because you're a woman. Consider that.
No, I do realize that. That's some of the reasons, like, why I don't accept drinks and I don't let people pay for me for stuff. Like, the last time a guy paid for my gas was 2 or 3 years ago, the last time I had a boyfriend. And I was like maybe 1 tank of gas within like a 6 month
I would say you're an exceptional girl. I would say, I don't mean just like exceptional as an exceptional human being. I mean exception to the rule exception. Right, I would say you're the anomaly among girls.
Right, that's what I mean. Like, I knew that's what
I knew that was what you meant.
Oh, thank you for saying it's exceptional. No, that's not what
special.
I said. I'm just saying, like, I do wish, like, girls were more, like, I don't know, I have other friends like this, too, and are like, no, why would we just like expect that and just accept all these free stuff? Like, you don't. I don't know. Nothing is really free, you know. Like,
right.
That's not
As you've learned the hard way. As you've learned the hard-on way, there are no free hard-ons.
It's fucking true.
Wow. Well, was it a super traumatic experience for you, the rape, or was it just like an eye opener, like, oh, I need to be more careful type experience? How was it?
It was pretty traumatic because I guess I felt like I had misjudged the relationship, kind of like you're saying. So
just like we've talked about. Okay.
I was like, wow, well, didn't really think that person would do that.
Right.
But we haven't talked. Well, we did talk since, but I didn't report it to anyone. I didn't tell anyone for like months. I don't know. It did kind of bother me, but you know what? Shit happens, I guess.
Shit happens. Well, there's two sides. Either you tell, like, it depends on who you tell too. I mean, some people say you got to go to the cops. It's the rape. Blah blah blah. I mean, if you told me, I mean, realistically speaking, I would consider the circumstance and say, lesson learned. Maybe you should be friends with girls and not guys. That's what I would tell you. I would because I always err on the side of responsibility of people learning how to be responsible for their behavior. So I definitely wouldn't do that. But it depends on the circumstances. If it was a guy just jumped you out of a bush and just grabbed you, of course I'd say, look, we need to go to the cops right now. But this is not that. And most cases, it's not that. It's just a lack of personal accountability. And the real problem is when we let women like you who don't feel accountable for their behavior do whatever they want without consequence. If you never hold women accountable, you can never solve this so-called rape culture problem. You know how they're always, we need more women are being raped on campus, we need more escorts, we need to put ankle monitors on men and blah, blah, blah. It will never work because you never can hold these people accountable. Women will never be seen as perpetrators or, part of the problem. They'll always be seen as the victim. So if you overlook the problem, you can never solve it. Women are half the problem and they can never solve it.
Right. Yeah, I definitely think like women who, if you're dressing the part of the victim, like if you're like kind of preparing yourself to be a victim, whether by drinking alcohol or dressing stupid or I don't know, you could carry like mace or something. Like, come on, like something like.
Well, I'm saying that's a counter message. It's to say I'm dressing to get attention, but when I get attention, here's the mace. I mean. It's just a dumb message. I would say, look, don't dress like a whore, number one, if you don't want to be treated like a whore. That's number one message I would always send to women.
If you're wearing, like I walked back from campus in, like, jeans and, like, a sweatshirt, like, that should not be something that's dangerous to wear.
Yeah, like, I mean, you're covered up. Your tits are covered up. Your ass is covered up. Oh, wait. Let's talk about the jeans. They can't be, like, skinny jeans. Can't be fucking yoga pants. Those don't even count. The spray painted on clothing does not count. You could still be a whore and be fully clothed.
Regular, not loose jeans, but, like, loose-ish, like, not tight jeans.
How about something that's just not flaunting your figure? How about that? Remember when women used to wear dresses?
To wear a burqa?
Remember when women used to wear dresses? I like how women go to the extreme too. They're like, oh, you want me to be a Muslim, eh? With a head cover? Yeah. No, I want you to not dress like a slut. Like girls just think, well, if you're, I can't show off. Yeah, that's the point. This is what women don't get. They don't get the whole concept of responsibility, of personal accountability for their actions. If they dress a certain way, they don't realize, number one, that even men have this libido. That's also part of the problem. They think they can just parade around naked, and it's just like parading around in front of a girl. They don't even have the concept that men have a totally different view of sex, of sexuality, of women's bodies, of visualization of things. They have no concept of this because they're always viewing things from the female point of view that, oh, he has to be emotionally attached to me to even consider me sexually. Oh, being naked is not even a big deal. We're just, we're born that way. It's not a big deal.
It is a big deal for women.
Yeah, well, not for a lot of women because they dress half naked. I mean, consider how women dress. They got skirts. I know you got your hot outfits. Come on. You got your black dresses. You got the shirts that are low cut that show stuff off. Every chick has that. But that's my point. Women want to be irresponsible and yet be considered equal, be considered a man in stature, in equality, in this equal sense of deserving the same respect. But they don't when they aren't burdened the same way men are with accountability. Like in a sexual encounter in society today, in feminist court system today, in the feminist legal system today, men bear like 99.999% of the accountability in a sexual encounter. I mean, even like when you have a woman who complains about or makes a complaint, an allegation of rape, she's always viewed as the victim. If you look at the paper, it's always the victim. It's never the woman who made the false rape accusation. Even when women do make false rape accusations, it's always the victim. I mean, how can you even talk about equality if women are just default referred to as the victim. It's impossible.
Yeah.
It's the furthest thing from equality. But women don't understand this because they're benefiting from that. I'm sure if men were benefiting too, you would see a lot of delusional behavior from men who weren't held accountable, who weren't held responsible.
Yeah. I mean, the victim mentality is a super problem.
It's such an important lesson to learn that most people will not learn, that personal accountability is what saves the culture from these type of problems, from, so-called rape culture, from assault, from all kinds of
everything, really.
things.
Like, if people were accountable, they would, not be in debt and stuff.
There you go. But the problem is we only teach one gender to be accountable, and that's the guys. And the guys, practically speaking, they don't have the training. Like, even if they wanted to be held accountable, they just don't have the training to be accountable. Most guys today are like chicks. They want the women to do all the talking. They want the women to ask them out. They want the women to they don't even know how to lead a conversation, let alone a relationship. You know how many guys are scared to death just to talk to a woman? If they just got on cam with you right now, they'd be, oh my God, it's a girl. You're so special. You're so beautiful. Your skin's so soft. I don't know what to say. They're so fucking timid.
Yeah.
It's such a shame because I come across these men all the time, online, in real life. We have them at our academy. We're teaching them around the world. This is not just an American problem. This is not just a North American problem. This is not just a Californian problem. This is a worldwide problem. Our academy is worldwide.
Yeah.
And there are guys from all different cultures who are emasculated by feminism, who are unable to talk to girls, who view girls as like uber superhuman people that they're always trying to please them. Basically, they're like people pleasers. Women.
Yeah, that is seriously annoying, actually.
It's the other way around. You should be in awe. You should be begging to suck my cock. You should say, this guy invented the computer. He invented the car. He invented the telephone that I'm using. He invented the language that I'm speaking.
You didn't invent all those things.
Oh, I invented them. Listen, I invented a lot. I invented Manhood Academy. That's enough for you to suck my cock. But listen, not only that, not only inventions, society. He built my house. He does all the dirty jobs, the plumbing. How many women are plumbers? Come on, give me a break. He protects me. He sacrifices his body to save me in fires. He puts his life on the line, protecting me in the army and as a cop.
Are you in the army?
No, I'm not in the army. But I'm saying as men. I'm speaking of men in general. This is everything that men do. Construction workers. Are they women or men? There's this movement to say construction person, as if women work in construction just like men. No, this is bullshit.
My first MLS was construction.
Please. How many women do you know that worked in construction?
Not
a lot. How many men do you know compared to women that worked in construction? Come on.
No, it is the majority. Yeah, that's a man-dominated.
That's not just one field that's just male-dominated. Think of any dangerous job and you go, that's a man's job. Army, man's job. Fire department, man's job. Engineer, man's job. Plumber, man's job, right? Any of these hard jobs, construction worker, road work, anything that's hard, difficult, dirty, coal miner, oil field worker, do you think men or women? Man or woman? You think man, obviously.
Man.
It should be man at work, not people at work. So when we talk about like the tough jobs, the demanding jobs, the dangerous jobs, this is what men do for women. This is why women should be lining up to suck their cocks. But today in society, men are made to feel as if they're...
do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but that's great. That's great. Like I said, you're an anomaly. Men today are made to feel. That's why men, if they encountered you on the street, they would feel like, no, you are the great one here. In this relationship, in this world, you are the one who is you might as well be the one who invented everything and does all the hard work. They don't even take into account their own value as men, like what they contribute to society. It's not like, we have feminism and women are considered equal, but it's not like women are now just running out into the fire department or the police department. No, it's still majority of every hard job historically is still male dominated. So men are still doing the hardest jobs and the most demanding jobs, even intellectually, engineers, doctors, still male dominated fields. So with men, having this high output in society, they're still taught to view themselves as less than women. And that's a sad statement because you want a guy to get into a relationship that you can depend on, but most of these guys will try to depend on you. They'll be like, honey, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go eat? How should we do this so I don't fuck it up? That's the least attractive thing that a woman can imagine is a guy who's just spineless and can't make a decision, who is afraid to defer. Who's afraid to have a conflict with a woman. What a sad thing.
I wish there, I don't know, I haven't dated for a while, and I don't plan on dating for a while because...
Are you going lesbian now? You going rogue?
Oh, no. Oh, hell no. I'm not a lesbian. Ew. No, but, like, there's, like, guys, for one, they won't take charge, but then they won't, like, it's not like a partnership. Like, it's like, what do you want to do? Or, like, what do you want to do for this? Or where do you want to go? It's like, no, let's decide together. Like, or, like, pick a spot for me. Like, where do I want to sit? I don't give a shit. Like, pick a spot. Like, show some, like, leadership. I don't know.
That's what men aren't trained to do. They're taught to defer to women, and that's exactly what women don't want, which is ironic.
You want to try the line, I think, between, like, domineering and, like, leadership.
No, you definitely want to dominate a woman. This is what most women don't understand, too, is that when they're dominated, and you got to understand this in the right way, because I don't mean, when most women think of a man dominating them, they automatically think of Hitler. They automatically think of the worst dictator, the worst authoritative figure they can think of.
I'm thinking more like domestic abuse.
Right, but it's the same thing. It might as well be Hitler if it's going to be domestic abuse. It's a guy who takes advantage of his authority, takes advantage of his power, takes advantage of his position. This is exactly the problem with why people are turned off by certain things in the first place, because they have a bad experience. So they throw out the baby with the bathwater, so to speak. So if they have a bad experience with a guy who's abusive or who is, uses his authority to take advantage of the woman and exploit the woman, then the next time a guy comes along and he wants to be in charge, and which is what a woman naturally, instinctually wants anyway, she'll automatically have this negative reaction because of the past experience with a guy who was in charge, but abused the authority, right? So you need it's not that, most women, when they associate a guy who's in charge, they think, oh, abusive guy, because they're taught that. They're taught that being in charge is wrong. What is one of the symptoms of, an abusive boyfriend when you go to any bullshit teen site that lists, here's the dating responsibilities and here's the things you need to look for, red flags and warning signs for problem partners. One of them, controlling behavior, as if controlling the word control is a bad thing. If you saw a parent controlling a kid in the supermarket, you would think, that's a good parent. Good job, they have control of that child. That child is happier now because it's safer. And it's more well-behaved, it's more sociable. But when we think of controlling in the context of a boyfriend and girlfriend, we think, oh, that guy's evil. He's ordering for her? How dare he order for her? He's deciding where they go? How dare he do that? It's like as a bad thing.
I don't know, I don't know, there's, like, limits on control, obviously. I mean, ordering for someone, like, I'd be like, if you just ordered my food for me and, like, had no idea what I wanted, or just decided,
a good leader will get input from the people he's leading. So, for example, let's say, I said, where do you want to eat? Or I said, we're going to go to a restaurant. And I said, where do you want to eat? And you said, I want to go to McDonald's. And I said, no, we're not fucking going to McDonald's. Well, I just defied you. But if I'm a good leader, it's because I'm caring for you. I'm caring for your best interests. So if I say, well, I don't want you to be a fat bitch when you grow up, so you're not eating at McDonald's, we're going to some other restaurant, and I take you to some other restaurant. I'm not controlling or abusive. I am in control of the relationship, but it's because I'm taking care of you. It's because I don't want you to be a fat fuck, so I can't get my dick hard when I look at you naked. And I don't want you to die early. I don't want you to get diabetes or a heart attack, clogged arteries, etc. So, as a good leader,
you said that guys can be attracted to any girl. Like,
what? No. Oh, you dummy! Shut up. No, I was talking about just. There's a difference between you.
I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, you're a funny girl. I know.
No,
Let me clarify this for the dummy audience who doesn't get it. There's a difference between a guy who just has to get off sexually, just release, have an ejaculation experience versus a guy who's in love. Yes, obviously.
No, I really do get it.
Okay, good.
Like, I don't want to be dating a guy who's, like, disgusting. Like, come on.
Right. But my point is, the guy controlling the relationship is taking care of you, but not taking advantage of you. That doesn't mean he doesn't talk to you or get your opinion, but it does mean he makes the final decision about the relationship and what you guys are doing. He's in control of it. He's in charge of it. Just like you get input on where everybody wants to go for vacation, but you don't let everybody steer the fucking steering wheel, right? You don't let everybody have a hand on the steering wheel, otherwise you're going to crash. You drive the car. You decide where you're going. You decide what freeways you're going to take to get there.
Right.
It's great if you talk to, because as a leader, you have to make sure the person you're in a relationship you're leading is happy to be there.
Right.
They got to want to be there. Otherwise, they won't even want to follow you. They won't even want to submit themselves to you. A woman won't want to submit to a guy who doesn't make her happy.
Right.
But the other side of that, what women aren't taught and what women haven't learned, is that they need a guy who's in charge, because it's like a dog who finally finds a bone. Dogs eat kibble. Who cares? Dogs likes a kibble. He likes a little piece of kibble. That's great. But when a dog gets a hold of a bone, there's a visceral reaction. There's a just like a woman can say, "Oh, this is a great guy. He treats me right. He always takes my opinion into account, and he's a nice guy. We get along. We're equals. We're best friends. We're buddies." right? There's that relationship. And there's the guy, oh, God, I can't wait till he fucks me over the stove. I'm so fucking tired thinking about his cock and my pussy at work. That's a girl who's been dominated. That's a girl who has submitted to a man. That's a girl who's been tamed like a horse, so to speak. Now,
or a girl who has a really good libido.
What's that?
Or a girl who has an awesome libido.
No, girls don't get awesome libidos. Girls' libido, sexuality is reactive to the guy. If you're in a relationship with a guy who doesn't turn you on, your libido will go down. I mean, you'll still get horny, but I mean, relatively speaking to what your libido could be with a guy who actually turns you on, it will be way down. Just because of the guy you're with in the relationship you're with.
I see what you mean.
But if you're with a guy who is in charge and who turns you on, your libido spikes as well. So it depends again on the guy's initiation, how he's leading. How he leads determines how you invest in him emotionally and how you respond sexually. It's a shame that most women don't even have this experience, sexually speaking, of having a guy in charge of them. Which is ironic because women are always reading Twilight novels and 50 Shades of Grey, which is all about domination and being dominated. They respond to that instinctually, but socially they're taught, no, you don't want that. You want a man who's going to treat you as an equal. No. If that was true, they'd be reading fucking novels about equality. They'd be reading these dry, sterile, feminist horror story romances where, hey, okay, Jenny, I want to touch your tit. Okay, Bill, you have permission to touch my tit. Okay, we're in this relationship together. We're pals. We're buddies. That would fly. If that was true, if the feminist version of relationships was true, number one, we wouldn't have an over 50% divorce rate. That's number one. Then number two, we would see more bullshit feminist romance fiction, right? That would be popular. 50 Shades of Grey wouldn't be popular. Twilight wouldn't be popular. It would be nice, respectful relationships. That's what women would crave if that was really true, if that was what women really wanted. I find that so funny that even what women decide to consume, that's geared towards romance is geared towards a guy dominating them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny when they talk about fantasies, the number one fantasy for a woman is a rape fantasy.
Actually, that's kind of true.
Yeah, it's not like a knife to your throat and, getting beat up, but the fact that their will is being overpowered and they're having to submit to this guy who is forcing themselves upon them, that is the whole premise behind, the authority figure, the guy taking charge. That's what women instinctually want. So even if they don't get it from society, even in their dreams are betraying them. The self-consciousness is betraying them.
I know.
Not self-conscious,
I actually do think that is true.
What's that?
I actually do think that's true, that, women do want the dominating thing. I don't know.
The problem is, you can know it in theory, and we can kind of, mathematically determine it. I mean, not with a math equation, but just by process of deduction, by what women read, respond to, what they dream about, we can determine it. But you actually can't say for sure until you've experienced it. It's like talking about love. We could talk about other people loving their family, and we could see parts of their life or moments where they sacrifice for their child or a loved one. We could say, oh, love exists because they did the sacrifice thing, and they say they love their parents, they're willing to do this and that. So we could see effects of love, but until we actually experience love, it's not a real thing to us. Just like with women, you could say, I could talk to I'm blue in the face and intellectualize and theorize about how men need to be in charge, and women can intellectually agree, but the real agreement is in the experience. It's not in the theory. It's not in the teaching. You actually have to have a guy dominate you, because then it's like your whole view has changed. When your emotions change, your libido changes, all these internal things change, your whole view, your whole concept of relationships change. Everything changes. So you can't really talk about it without demonstrating it. You have to have that. It's like talking about sugar. Well, it's sweet. Well, how do you know what sweet is? I mean, I can theorize about it, but you actually have to taste something sweet to know, oh, that's what sweet is. Oh, that's what it's like to be in a relationship with a guy who dominates me, who's in charge of me.
Right.
How wet are your panties on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being Lake Erie. Wow.
Pretty deserty down there.
Oh, that's a lie. I bet it sounds like they're very moist down there.
Yeah?
Yeah. Wow. I just looked at your face. I was kind of going on a tangent there and talking about, doing some bullshit Braveheart speech, and then I looked at your eyes and I thought, oh, there's some wet panties here. Wow.
Yeah? You
Yeah.
think?
Can you put your legs up like this, your thighs up, so you see your ass right
Yeah,
now?
just a second here.
Okay, good. Sorry the audience can't see this, but right now she's got her legs, she's got the camera positioned right between her thighs, and she's fingering herself underneath her panties. Sorry you don't have a visual on this, but that's just what happens when you miss out on these interviews personally.
I know. Too bad it's not videotaped,
I know. Such a shame. Such a shame.
No, I mean, that that's totally fine. Honestly, I don't know. I think that guys really, there's the problem with guys today is more of like a faithful thing. Like, I don't think guys are very faithful. I've had like lots of relationships, and maybe 2 of them have been faithful.
I would say this. The guys that were faithful to you, the 2 that were faithful because they couldn't do anything about it. Like, you were their last ditch option. They couldn't get anything better. And the guys who aren't faithful, they are frustrated because they don't know how to control you in the relationship. They don't know how to be in charge properly. They don't know how to make you happy, and they don't know how to make themselves happy by being in charge of you. So they can't get their sexual needs met. They can't get their emotional needs met. Can't get the things they would normally get out of a relationship if they were in charge of it. Just like a parent, a parent can love a child, but they can be utterly frustrated and not want to have the child because they don't know how to make the child behave, do the dishes, do their homework, grow up properly if they're not in charge of that child. So the guys obviously were not in charge of you, so they weren't happy in the relationship, even though they could be getting sex. But sex isn't everything in a relationship. Right. It's an important thing. I don't want to lessen its importance to a guy, but it's not everything in a relationship. If you just have good sex, even eventually that's going to go away if you're not in charge of the relationship.
Right.
So you were the guy in the relationship. In all your relationships, you've been the guy. You have not met a real guy yet who has been in charge of you in the relationship yet. That's the major problem.
Yeah, I can see that. Yep. Cool. So look for guys who know how to take charge?
Look for guys who graduated Manhood Academy.
Okay. Your list of graduates?
A long list. I'll recommend somebody for you. I'll hook you up.
Awesome. Thank you.
Somebody in Iowa. Okay, I'll remember that. Somebody in Iowa. I'd love to have you visit a class. I'd love to have you visit one of our hangouts. Since you like guys anyway.
Do like online classes?
Yeah, they have hangouts like this. We have a lot of different activities at the academy. We hold classes. We have expression clubs. Some guys started a poetry slam. Some guys doing a music thing. So we have a bunch of different online. Guys even work out together online. They're all over the country, all different time zones. There's always somebody on. If you're ever lonely, you could come on. The guys over there that comfort each other. They're like, bro, I broke up with my girlfriend today, or bro, I haven't had a girl in 5 years, and I don't know how to get a girl, and I'm a shut-in agoraphobic. I need somebody to lean on. There's always a bro there for them. That's what's so awesome. Yeah. But I'd love to have you visit some of the classes and stop by.
I might do that. We'll see.
We'll see. Any of your parting thoughts? What do you think? You probably haven't had a chance to even read our ebook or look around too much.
I was doing the first chapter just to kind of see what I was getting myself into with this whole thing.
The first chapter it talks about the problem. The fun part comes in 2 and 3.
Okay, I'll have to actually skim over that or something. Yeah. But no, I just kind of looked at the site.
You could try this. We have 3 videos we made a video for dumb people. It's basically the ebook in just a very super simple format.
Recommend me the video
exactly. It's called The Problem, the Solution, and the Application on our YouTube channel. Those 3 videos that cover the 3 sections of the ebook, basically.
Oh yeah, I think I remember seeing a link to that or something.
Yeah, check it out.
But I was like, well, I'm a smart person. I'm going to try and read the book.
Well, there you go. If you get too bored, it gets too dry for you, you could always go to the movies. We flip back and forth. What are your? Let's hear some final thoughts from you. Let's get your opinion of all of this. Anything you've learned today? Anything you want to take away from this? Anything you hate? Anything you want to criticize about the academy? We want to hear it.
I don't know. It does concern me that, people might get the wrong idea of, being, I don't know. I feel like it is important to stress the difference between, being controlling and, abusing the control. Because I do think, people can easily lose sight of that. But,
well, that's why we do a very thorough job of educating our guys that come to the academy.
Other than that, I think, it is important for guys to, take charge more often.
Right.
I think it, especially, with, women's rights, I think women are expected to do a lot more anyways. And then, when guys don't take charge, it's just what the fuck are you doing? Come on. That's not that hard. But
women want a helping hand? Is that what they're saying? They're not super women?
We want to be. We really do. But, Superwoman is a really lame superhero anyways. I mean, you can't, women do want to be Superwoman. They want to do a lot, but I don't think they can do everything. And I think that it is really beneficial to have guys who can take charge.
I agree with you 100%. As much as we talk about dreams and reach for the stars and all that bullshit, we're not taught the most important lesson of limitation. That limitation is a good thing, and that people have limits. Guys have limits on what they can do. Women definitely have limits on what they can do, but we're all taught, no, you do whatever you want. You be a rock star, you be a ninja, you be a rapper. Do
right. I mean, like, and it's cool to be able to do that stuff on the side, but you can't, like, do that. Like, I like to lift weights a lot, and, like...
Look at you. Flex for the... Let me see. Flex that arm. Let me see it. Oh, look at you.
No, I'm wearing a sweatshirt right now, so you can't see anyways.
Show me the boobs. Squeeze them like this together. Let me see.
Yeah, those muscles, yeah.
Let me see the pecs. Can you cup them like this underneath?
Maybe next time.
Okay.
No, but, like, women can do that. Like, they can, like, I can lift and stuff, but it's not going to be anywhere near the level of a guy. Even, like Dana Lynn Bailey, she's not going to be, like, the level of, like, her boyfriend. Like, right. You can't, I don't know. I just think that, like, it is important to allow women to do, like, things, like, kind of whatever they want, but, like, you can't expect women to be, like, leaders in certain male-dominated areas.
Right. We need a leader in the kitchen, not in the office.
You know what? I don't make very good sandwiches, so
look,
you're on for that.
In my relationships, you're making all the fucking sandwiches, or there's fucking spankings in your future.
Well, I hope you like really shitty sandwiches.
Well, I hope you like really tough spankings.
Come on now.
See this? This is my spanking
yeah?
face. You're gonna get it.
Oh, come on.
You come on me. We'll see.
Anyway, so that's my parting thoughts.
Thank you so much. It was a joy to talk to you, Audrey. I was about to call you Aubrey.
Yeah.
Audrey. It's a joy to talk to you.
Don't forget my name after only an
hour. We got a chat room at the bottom of our forum. If you click on the campus section from our main page, you'll see our main student forum, and at the bottom is a live chat room. You can chat in there. And if you want to ever reach out to the academy, or you can send us an email. I'd love to have you in class and hang out. It'd be awesome. We have chick visitors from time to time, so it'd be awesome.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks for the invitation.
It was fun talking to you. I can't wait to see you again.